Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to today's stream. Let me just get my playlist set up. Let me turn that down a little on my end. And that should sound somewhere about correct. Let's go ahead and hit the webcam. Howdy, everybody. There's me. Trying to turn that a little more down, a little more on my end. A little up on here. There we go. Alright, let me go ahead and update this. So, in case you didn't read the title or check the thumbnail, today's goal is going to be new enemies. I got 3 of them in particular that I'm working on. I've got a pretty interesting idea for them. I think they'll fit pretty nicely into the new world. Although, funnily enough, I'm making, a beach area, and none of them are, like, beach or ocean themed at all. Which I think is very funny. I do have an idea for a 4th enemy. And they'll be, like, more thematic, like, there'll be a train conductor. That's kind of the idea I've got for him. So let's not delay too much and get into that. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and see what everyone's saying. Holy cow, there's a lot of people in the chat. How's everybody doing? Got Newbert, Mr. Pringle, Eraser Paste, Ethan Levy, Babs, Aurelius, or Oro. Mr. Jonas, Ozzy, Luke Peden, Small Guy, Andrew Chang, Dr. Abnormal, Trafficality, and Zoda. Thank you for joining, everybody. Okay, so, first things first. I can see them in the thumbnail, but I'll show you guys what they look like right now, and I'll explain a bit about what I'm going to do with them. So, first is a pair of brothers, Bat Guy and Ball Guy. So this is Ball Guy. He's got a bomb, so he'll chuck bombs at you. And then he's got his brother Bat Guy, what they'll do is that he'll throw the ball to Bat Guy, who will then deflect it. But Bat Guy can also hit you with the bat to do like melee damage, kind of similar to Slapmo. Yeah, pretty similar to Slapmo. And then we've got the next guy. Brain Buster. So what he does is he puts his big hands on his funny brain helmet. He'll shake him a little bit, and then if you're within his line of sight for too long, your brain explodes and you die. I'm thinking that you'll die instantly, no matter how much health you have with this guy. Maybe if you're on easy, it won't instantly kill you. But this guy's going to be a pretty prominent threat in stages where he appears. Like he's a more intense enemy. So I'm thinking like stages where you have a large focus on getting in and out of his line of sight to avoid instantly dying and getting your brain blown up. That's what I'm thinking with them. Now technically these guys aren't called Bat and Ball Guy. I have funnier names for them. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with them, but I'm thinking about calling them the Bastard Brothers. So this is Bat Bastard and Ball Bastard. We'll see if that sticks. I think it's quite funny, but I know there's some younger people out there, so we'll see. So let's start with the bomb guy, because I think he'll be relatively straightforward. So for base, we can just copy over Gunther. We'll go with BP Ball. Let's go to a map actually, so I can test this stuff out first. Let's go to not 1 million. Let's go to train yard. There we go. Now let's train yard testing. Here we go. Yeah, so I made a couple of changes to this level last time you saw it. You've seen it. I changed, it's kind of like an ugly yellow for this, so I made it a green. Textured more of it. Still need to get some of the actual graphics in and some of the like background details. Like, it feels a little empty right now, so I want to have extra buildings and stuff populating it to help make it feel a little more complete. That sort of thing. But the layout, I feel, is in a pretty good spot. Okay, so let's get the actual enemies in place. Start working on them. Get the ball right there. So, a lot of this code is pretty much already done for us, since it's just built on top of a pre-existing enemy. Let's get Ball Idle. Go. Thinking he's going to want to be a little stockier, a little larger than Gunther is. Something like that. By the way, if anybody can guess... Yeah. Oh, that's something off the shelf, too. If anybody can guess who this guy's character design is inspired by, you win 2 Seth points. What is that death animation for Bat Guy? Well, both of them just kind of collapse. Very funny looking. Hey, I'm glad you guys like the bastard names. Glad Eraserface is from the Gunther love. Okay, so we've got this guy. And we're gonna need to make a new custom projectile for him. And I've already got some code for him that should be relatively easy. First thing we need to do is figure out how much health he's gonna have. I think that he should probably be around the same health as a Slapmo, so that way he dies relatively quickly. So let's say 12 for now. That can be subject to change, but what that means is that he will die in a single 1-2 combo. You can see right there he changed because I haven't set his other sprites up yet. So, first thing we want to do is Oh, I forgot to draw damaged animations for these guys. Oops, that's something I'll have to do. Let's see, bullet. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, so this is where we'd set the damage animation. I don't have one because I realized I forgot to draw one. So I'll have to do that a little later. I did kind of feel like there weren't as many sprites as there should have been. So we'll set his animation to ball dead. There we go. He'll just use the Gunther death sound for now. Okay, so right now he should. Right. Actually, got to set his attack sprites too. So on C-Pawn, he'll do all this, yada yada. He'll spawn an attack, and we'll change this from the Gunther attack to the a specialized new bomb projectile. And we're gonna set this to ball attack, and set this flipbook to ball idle. There we go. So now his animation should look correct. One thing I do want to do actually, is set up a new animation. So let's shift all this back just a little bit so we have more space to work with. So we have a new set flipbook node right here. So I made a custom little animation for him to show that he's ready to throw. About ready? Yeah. Ball ready. So a lot of enemies, like the Gunther and the Cuboids, they'll have a little exclamation point that flashes above their head to let you know that they're about to attack. And I'm making custom animations for some enemies to give it even extra clarity that they're about to attack you. Drawing stream? I don't really have a way to stream that. I mean, I do have a drawing tablet, but I do it all on this sucker. So unless I could figure out a way to stream from it, then I don't know how I would do that. Oh, yeah, I'm seeing people make the suggestions. Okay, small guy, you got it. It is, with Delfino, it is inspired by a Chuckster. That was what I was thinking when I was thinking about a dude who throws stuff at you. So yeah, that you've gotten it. All right, see what he does. I quite like how that looks. I quite like that. The exclamation point's a little low, and the projectile's obviously wrong. But I like the ready up. I think that looks pretty nice. Let's get the exclamation point. Let's just lift that up a bit. See how that looks. It's still a little low. Lift it up a little bit more. How about now? Yeah, okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Real quick, actually, let me explain some of the UI changes that I'm sure you've noticed. So probably the most obvious thing is the new crosshair. This is definitely still a work in progress, but I like the functionality it brings a lot. The old crosshair was just 4 lines, very basic, and what it would do is it would shift if you were looking at a target. So like you can see right here, it'll expand out when you're looking at something you can hit, and whenever you attack, it'll flash a little bit. Now what's different is the stuff around it. So you'll see that if you press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's these little lights that glow on or off, depending on if you have a finger active. There's a lot of people who were getting lost in their hand signal, especially when it keeps sort of changing shape. I could understand how that would be kind of confusing. So now you've got a more easy, objective way to tell what your current hand pose looks like. And then underneath, you've got a juice meter. So it just tells you how much juice you have left. No complicated number, but it does give you a decent, loose approximation. And also, whenever you're full charge, there's a little purple flash. So now it's got same functionality as before. I think it might need to be either a little smaller or slightly opaque, just so it's a little bit less. It's a little large, it's a little obtrusive for Crosshair, but I think the functionality it brings is really good. I just want to tweak some of the functionalities of it. I've also made some changes to some of the other UI. Like you can see, I guess you can't quite see the juice because it's a little hidden, but I drew a new thing for the cell So that's got a custom icon instead of just saying text. The combo meter is restructured. I think it looks a lot nicer with the multiplier being more prominent. And now the meters themselves just look a little cleaner. So that's some of the UI changes I've been working on. Pretty pleased with how they look. So back to the main show here with good old ball guy. So what we need to do now is code his projectile. And that's going to be a little bit more complicated. So what we're going to do is go to projectiles, and we can just take the Gunther attack and use that as a bit of a base, and we'll call that BP Bomb. So first thing we're going to do is swap out that paper sprite. We're going to get a flip book. We're going to set the source flipbook to bomb. Going to go ahead and rotate that by about 90 degrees. Scale you down. Let's try 0.5. 0.5 is still a little big. Let's scale you down a little more. There we go. That looks like about a good size. So now we've got that. One other thing I wanted to try is to... so now what it does is that it'll rotate to constantly look at the player, but I kind of like the idea that it'll also like spin in midair while it's getting thrown at you, so it's cycling, hits you, explodes. Will you be able to change the crosshair? I mean, I've considered something like that. I know a lot of people, like, the first thought is to jump to, like, oh, you can just make different options for stuff. But I'd rather have, like, one sort of general solution rather than make everything into options. And I'm not against, like, people being able to, like, use custom crosshairs or something, but I think so much important functionality can be fit into a crosshair that I'd rather keep it uniform, and just find something that works for as many people as possible. Okay, what we're going to do is get actor rotation. We're going to split that struct pin. I think it should be pitch that we're trying to change, and then add, just say 1. Alright, so to see if that works, what we're going to do is go into his code and change it to BP Bomb. So now he should be throwing the new bomb projectile. Okay, it doesn't seem like that worked. What if we make it much more intense, like 5? Whoop. Nope, that's the wrong... Okay, that's just the wrong axis. Let's try the roll. I never remember which axis is which. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, that looks nice. I like that quite a bit. So what we're gonna have to do... this is a little bit more complicated. Let's go to weapons. Should be in weapons? Yeah. So I've got this thing for a weapon that I showed off last time called the Fling Bomb. It's essentially a grenade launcher. So you can launch a little projectile, obviously very unfinished as of right now. But I can use a similar sort of coding approach to this, where what it does is it launches a projectile that then hits a surface and then explodes. That's what I want this to do. So we can take some of this code. When I say some of this code, I mean pretty much all of this code, because it's in a pretty decent spot. So what this will do is, in simple terms, it'll launch out a bomb, and it'll run through a sequence where everything that's inside of the sphere, so, you know, when it hits, you can see a brief flash of a sphere, anything inside that is added to an array, and then it runs through that array, applying the code in it to every single event. And what that'll do is it'll also launch characters according to this code, and if it's the player, then they'll take damage. So, we've got this code pretty much done for us already, so we can drag this in, get rid of that code, drag it in there. Actually, we also need to make that on component hit. Let's grab on, should be right here. Grab this guy and say on component hit. So pretty self-explanatory. When it hits something, it'll run this code. And let's go ahead and see if that works. Oh. It does not. Interesting. I'm wondering what I did differently. Let's see, I've got... I don't remember what makes this one different, because it's got the same thing. Let's try the debug type persistent. So one test I want to do real quick is I want to see if the bombs do collide with the wall. So I'm going to set the debug type to persistence, that way we'll see the spheres stick around. Okay, so it's flying straight through walls. Oh, I think it's because I probably got the wrong type of collision. Yeah, let's open up the fling bomb. Didn't mean to close that out. And this should be... double check collision type. Yeah, it's set to block all. I believe this is set to overlap all. Yeah, that's not quite what I'm trying to do. Set that to block all dynamic, and that should do it. Yeah, there we go. And if we walk out... Okay, so the one problem is that it isn't colliding with... it is not colliding with static meshes. And that's something that I've been meaning to fix for the Cuboid Bomb 2, is that I want that to... with the Cuboid projectiles, that I want that to not go through walls. So I'll figure out a fix for that a little later. I want to get the core bomb functionality down first. But it does hit the player. It's a little misaligned. Yeah, it's a little bit misaligned. So let's slightly adjust the angle that he throws it at. So I've got this little arrow here, which dictates where the bomb comes from. It should be... let's set it to 0. Actually, no, I think -2 maybe, so it's a little bit more angled inwards. So I'm gonna make sure it can actually hit me when I'm standing still. Okay, so problem is, it seems like it's only nudging me out of the way when it's going kind of fast. So let's set... use CCD, which should give us slightly more... which should give us improved collisions for fast-moving objects. I thank Oro for leading me on to that one last time. And let's go ahead and adjust the angle a little bit. Just to make sure it's actually hitting us. Yeah, it's still just sort of pushing us out of the way. Maybe I'll need a slightly different collision type, perhaps. When Bat Bastard hits the ball bomb, a small chance to explode. See, that could be a little too luck-based, I think. Would be a weapon for every... No. That'd be too many weapons. The current amount is all that I've got planned. So, I mean, I've added 2 new ones since the demo. I've added this guy, and this guy. Did I think it just occurred to me that in the build of the demo that I released the other day, the one that fixes the death plane, I think I left these in when they're, like, really unfinished. I'll have to fix that. Whoops. That's a my bad. I get a little too hasty with the releases sometimes, where, like, I really want to get something out with some tweaks and changes, and I don't make sure that it's properly, everything's properly in place. Okay. So, we got this guy working. Sort of. The bomb works if it hits me, doesn't work if it hits something else. But he is essentially done. He is not a very complicated enemy. Not on his own. So what I'm going to do now is copy Slapmo over, because Slapmo is going to work pretty similarly. So we're going to call this Bat. So we're going to go ahead and change his sprites on over to Bat Idle. Yeah. Get Bat in there. Cool. So what we're going to do is pretty similar stuff. He's going to run at you and hit you with the bat, but only in specific circumstances. And I'll explain those a little bit as we go along. But I've got an interesting idea for how this combo of weapons could work. Because don't worry, I don't want this guy to just be a Slapmo reskin. I do have an interesting idea for how what'll really set him apart. Oh, I don't have a sound effect for that. Duh. Back attack. And then should set it to bat idle. Are there any other sprites that I am forgetting to change? Oh yeah, slap my damage. I'll just set that to bat idle, because once again, he also does not have a damage animation yet. So if you get too close, then he swaps you. Alright, works pretty well. Not that there's too much really complicated to his code, but there you go. Now, one other thing I do need to test real quick. I want to make sure that this will hit other enemies. Okay, it does. Oh, no, it's passing through him. It's passing straight through him. Alright, okay. That is something else we're gonna have to fix. As we go along. There we go. Just loves to stop working. Okay, so on their own, these guys seem pretty simple, right? Like they're not very complicated. But what's gonna make these guys interesting is how they work in tandem with one another. So most enemies, they will function the same generally regardless of what's going on. The one exception is Sheila, who she has a dedicated shield target, and she'll follow that target and put the shield around them. If their target dies or the shield goes down, then Sheila gets stunned. So they change in response to other enemies. You left the new weapons in the new version. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the new with those weapons being in the new version. Like on its, what are you hitting? What are you hitting? But the problem is that this is so very obviously unfinished that I kind of didn't want that one to be in. But I'm probably, well, maybe. I'm thinking about releasing one last build of the demo called like 3.0 or something. With a revamped tutorial, the new crosshair, and the last two weapons. But I guess that'd probably be okay. Because I also want to release a build for patrons with the new stage. I don't want to like disappoint patrons by like continuing to give away free stuff when there's like an expectation. But if it's updating the demo and the demo levels, I think that's okay. I just don't want to do new levels and stuff. Except for the patron builds. Anyways. So, I've been blabbing on, but the main interesting thing with these guys is that they will have a set partner. So what'll happen is that the ball guy will chuck it to Batman, he swings at it, and then it'll knock it towards you. So there'll be some sort of unpredictable angles they can do to hit projectiles towards you. And so let's say you're standing like right here, and there's a wall here blocking your path. Now normally you'd be safe, but what can happen is the ball guy can chuck it, hit it to him, and then he'll be able to hit it to you. So it'll be a very different type of interaction, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. Especially considering that the way that these enemies will work is going to be pretty different. I'm going to increase the speed of that too, actually. I'm going to slow down his throw speed a little bit, because his bombs are pretty powerful. So I'm going to make him a little bit slower. Like, he throws them less fast as a way to compensate for his pretty aggressive play. Where did I... Right there. That's the initial delay, and then that's the shooting delay, I think? No, that's not the one. It's, this one. Yeah, this is the timer. I'll give him another half second or so in between throws, just to make sure it's not too oppressive. Oh, let's get up there, climb up the through the level itself. And I think I've fixed the crosshair, not the crosshair, the surfboard jank. I haven't had it bug out in quite a while, so I think that it has been fully fixed. I think, you know, don't quote me on that, but it feels like it works pretty consistently. So, you know, that's good. It doesn't go flying off in different directions anymore. But yeah, that feels like a pretty good speed. Okay, so it's still not quite working. It's, the collision does not seem like it's trying to, like it's too cooperative. Maybe because it's too fast? We'll look into that later. So what we're gonna do is go to that, and we're going to add a new collision sphere. We're gonna make this fairly large around him. Something like that. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and label this actually. We're gonna call this ball glider. Go. And we're going to say if on component begin overlap with that collider, we're going to cast to BP bomb. So as long as what's being overlapped is the bomb, then we can run some code to redirect it towards us. Now, I actually have not thought about how to do that. It occurs to me I haven't really thought that part through. So, here's what I'm thinking. Can I launch... I cannot launch. Can I set velocity? Set linear velocity drive. So I guess I've got two sort of ideas for how we could do this. One is to delete the bomb that overlaps with his sphere, and then spawn another one directed towards the player. That's probably going to be the easiest solution. The only problem is that it might look a little janky. But it might be janky to try to bounce it off of the collision box directly. Because I think that'll just probably... Because I can imagine, like, if it enters this edge, it could kind of try to exit from that edge. So what I'm going to do, I think, is that. So if the bomb enters, it'll delete that bomb and then create a new bomb instance, and then launch that one. I feel like that's going to be the most sensical. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to set up a new event in BB Bomb, custom event, and we're going to call that destroy bomb, and it's going to be destroy actor. Very simple. So we'll just run destroy actor. So if the bomb gets within his radius, then he'll destroy it. So if we go right here, yep, look at that, and if we go out here even, then it'll get rid of the bomb. And then what we're going to do is grab some code. Yeah, this code. To spawn a bomb headed right towards us. Now, we are missing an arrow. We can use this. No, we cannot use that arrow. We're going to get a new arrow. There we go. And let's go ahead and slide it about over here. Give it about a -1 angle. Oh, yeah, it's having some compile issues because that doesn't like that. Let's get that arrow, plug it in as the spawn transform. So it'll spawn it from the direction this is facing from that location. So what it should do now is when a bomb goes into the radius, it'll delete it. Oh, no, it didn't like that. Okay. Infinite loop detected, destroy actor. Okay, because I guess it's like constantly trying to destroy it while it's active. Let's just do destroy once, which is a boolean. I'm gonna set that to true by default, and set destroy once to false. We run a branch right here, and then not sent. Say get destroy once. So what'll happen is that the first time this activates, it'll activate it as true, and then it'll set that variable to false, so that way it won't be able to do that again. So that should help us avoid that infinite loop problem. No, it's still infinite looping. Oh, okay, no, I see what's happening. I just realized what's happening. That's very funny. By the way, when you hit an enemy with a new weapon, it also damages you? Really? I didn't even notice that. Oh, wow. It does do that, huh? Wait, it did that once, but then it didn't do it again? Okay, it only does it to the first enemy that if it on the first hit of an enemy it does that, but it doesn't on repeats. Yeah, that there's a reason that I didn't intend to include that weapon in the update, because it is not finished. It has not been thoroughly bug tested at all. It's kind of gonna give the two more range and power. That's the hope. So together they send the bomb to Bat Guy, but on their own. Slatmo and Gunther. They're similar for sure. Bomb Guy is slower and has AoE, and then Bat Guy is also slower but has large knockback. So he's on his own. He's kind of like a bouncer crossed with a Slatmo, where he has hits that do knockback and damage. But together they have tricky bomb directions. So the main thing with these guys is that they'll be able to mix you and hit you with bombs that you weren't expecting from angles you weren't expecting. That's kind of the idea with them. So what sets them apart is how the two interact rather than anything they do individually. Anyways, I realized the bug that's happening here. So he's chucking the bomb, it gets deleted, and then he creates a new bomb, and then that gets deleted, and it endlessly like makes a new bomb, deletes a bomb, makes a new bomb, deletes a bomb, makes a new bomb, deletes a bomb. So we're gonna have to slightly reconsider how we go about doing that. I guess the lazy solution would be to make a second type of bomb that he sends instead. And I don't know if I want to do that. I'm willing to do that. That is an easy solution for sure. I think for now I'm going to put a bit of a band-aid fix before we do a deeper, proper solution. And just drag it out so that way it spawns the bombs outside of the radius, and shrink the radius a little bit too. Nope. Okay, it's still happening. Let's just pull the air like way out here. Just want to get the base functionality in for now, and then we can worry about fixing it. No, it's still doing that. Hey there, Astrago. If you had an enemy that had a boomerang as a weapon, it could be fun. I could see that being interesting to work around. I wonder if it does that when you hit the death plane. No, it doesn't. It just does it when it hits enemies. Interesting. Okay, so we've got this issue where it really wants to do this constant loop. Now, how do we fix that? You know, we'll be lazy for right now, anyways, until we figure out a better solution. We'll just have a duplicate, call it Bomb 1, EP, Bomb 1. There we go. So now what you should do is... Yeah. Bomb, bomb. Bomb goes in, bomb goes out. Bomb goes in, bomb goes in, bomb goes out. Perfect. Okay. Cool, cool. Does the job for now. Shrink that back a little bit. Okay, so now that we've got the base functionality in, let's make it look a little bit nicer before we do anything else. We're going to set, let's get flipbook. We're going to do set flipbook. I'm going to set that to bat attack. Then we're going to spawn the actor in, spawn the bomb in. Delay by 0.2. And then set his animation back to idle. That idle. There we go. So now it'll look like he's swinging it at us. It'll look a little bit more natural. Yeah, it still looks a little weird with the angles and whatnot, but I think we can sort that out. Yeah, that feels okay. I think it'll be a little nicer with a slight particle effect and some sound effects to help bring that to life a little more, but does the job for now, I suppose. So we've got some of the individual functionality in. Now the question is, how are we going to do something more complicated? And that's a bit of a tricky question. I've got an idea for how we want to do that. So I've done some similar code to this for Sheila. You can see that she has... I forget exactly where I did it. So yeah, the shield target, just like a pawn reference. So what I can do is whenever they attack, they can check to see if they have a reference to a character, and if they don't have a reference, they'll attack individually. So bomb guy will just chuck the bombs at you. Pretty straightforward. And bat guy will just run at you and try to hit you. But if they do have a partner, then they'll run a different bit of AI. Is ball guy gonna prioritize throwing bombs to bat guy? Yes. The ball man will always try to attack you with try to throw the balls to the bat guy as long as he's alive. He'll throw them at you if he runs out, or if he's dead, and vice versa. Like they will always focus on doing the combo as long as both of them are alive. If you take one out, then the other will go to their other bit of code instead. So let's go to BP Ball. Also, thank you very much for the $5, Mom. Appreciate it. What was I saying? Yes, so what we're going to do is set up a new variable, and we're going to make that a pawn object reference. We're going to expose that, and we're going to say that as partner. So on cpawn, on pawn sensing, on this, we've got all this code, which just dictates what he does when he's attacking you normally. What we're going to do here is grab another branch that will dictate which of the two sort of paths that he takes, and we're going to, I think it should be is val. Can I shrink this? No. What did I do for Sheila? I can't quite remember the exact code. Because I know I have something where if she doesn't have a target, you know, it is valid. Okay, I was just being dumb. Oh yeah, it doesn't need to be branch, it would be an is valid. Yeah, there we go. So if that is not valid, then it'll run this main code, and if it is valid, it'll do this code. So let's just say, let's just print a string to make sure that our method here is working. So set partner. Did I set that up wrong? I thought it was an object reference. Yeah, I thought it was a pawn object reference. Partner should be a pawn object reference. Oh, it's a pawn movement component. How'd that happen? I guess I selected the wrong thing. Oh yeah, I must have... Okay, I just clicked one below it. There we go. Okay, it's got to recompile that variable type. Let's grab the new partner. Plug that in. And I should explain what this is. What an is valid is basically like if it does have like something that exists that is valid, so like a thing that exists, it'll run this bit of code, and if it doesn't, that means that the partner has been, that actor has been deleted, and thus it'll run this code instead. Pretty straightforward. So now we can set his partner to that. So we should see is in the top right. Yep, it says hello whenever he sees me. Hello, 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 hello. So that means that his code is working. He's trying to throw it to the partner instead. Alright, perfect. So next thing we need to do is figure out the location of the partner, so that way we can accurately dictate where he should throw it. Hey Team B, how's it hanging? Okay, so what we're going to do is grab partner. We're going to get actor location. There we go. Actually, we're gonna need to grab some of these in too. You know, actually, we'll restructure this a little bit. Because these are things that need to be in no matter what. So as long as it's not falling or dead, then it can still attack us. So what we're gonna do is going to set this stuff. So he'll be ready to attack. Do a bit of delay. Basically most of this, all of this really we can copy on over as a reference starting point. The main difference between these two things is going to be in where he throws it and how he throws it. So as of right now, you can see that the spawn actor BP bomb, the code that dictates how he throws it, all it does is it checks this arrow, and it'll throw towards you. And it's always aimed at you because he's got code that always faces him towards the player. Pretty straightforward, it's a very simple solution. But we've got a bit more of a complicated issue to figure out where the actor is. So we're going to need to do some math. Find out where the partner is, find out where this guy is, and then get that angle and line it up so that he'll throw it there. And before I forget, I actually did want to give this thing a bit of gravity. Let's just say about 2. Don't know exactly how much 2 is, I haven't really fiddled with gravity too much. You can see that he doesn't have the delay and stuff coded in yet, so he's just chucking them like nobody's business. He's a chuckster. I think to compensate, I like the gravity. I think that'll make him a little bit more different too, especially if the one. Here's what I'm thinking: the one that's launched after getting hit by the bat isn't affected by gravity and goes a little bit faster, to make the duo a little bit more deadly. Like the projectiles are more deadly and can come from a greater variety of angles, which I think will make it a bit more interesting when they're working together. Anyways. That's got gravity. To make sure that he's not chucking him straight into the ground, let's say 1, 2. Should give him a slight 2. An angle of 2 to see if that, Yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot of range on that. I think we can give him a slightly higher angle on that. Try 5, 6, 10. 10 even, why not? Keep starting here instead of starting over here. Okay, well, I guess I answered my question as to why not. He does kind of only work in a very specific radius like that, huh? Set it to 5. Yeah. And if he throws here, then he deflects them, and they no longer have any inclination of range. Or they don't have any fall off of range. Yeah, I think that works pretty nicely. So what we're gonna do is have to figure out that code now of directions and whatnot. So if we get the location of the partner, we can go ahead and split the struct pin, actually. We're gonna have to set up some individual things. So the location, what we can do is just set that to the arrow. Let's get location, get world location. Plug that into the transform location. What really matters is the rotation. So, get actor location. Trying to think of practically what's going to be the easiest way to code this. Could also do the math to set the correct angle to hit the target. That is true. That definitely require more thinking. And speaking of thinking, it's time to think. So let me talk through this out loud, because I really should have thought about this preemptively. But here's our conundrum. Here's our problem. So we know the location of our 2 actors here and here, but how do we figure out what angle to set that to? What's going to be the simplest mathematical algorithm we can write to hit you? How are we gonna code that? So let's run through like a sample scenario. Let's say that one guy is at 0, 0, 0. And really we only need to worry about x and y. They're not going to be on different elevations. So all we really need to keep track of is their x. So let's say it's at 0, 0, and this guy's at like 10, 15. So let's see, if we were to... I guess we could just do it based on like positives and negatives, right? Like if we could figure out the angle between positives and negatives, perhaps? Man, I never thought I'd have to use geometry again, but here we are. Will the brain guy suck your brain away? What he does is he makes your brain explode by channeling psychic waves and overloading it. If that guy doesn't have direct line of sight to the player, will he throw directly at the player rather than the ball guy? Yes, that is what would happen. Either that, or they would just he would continue to trying to throw it at him, and then the bat guy would hit it into a wall or something. Depends on which of those two is more fun. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Trying to think how we code this. What's the I feel like there's a simple solution, I'm sure, that I'm not thinking of. How to get the angle between 2 points with coordinates. Oh boy, this looks complicated. Alright, well, we're going to mathematics stack exchange. Okay, so the tan function 2 is an extended version of the trigonomic inverse tangent function. Oh no. This is so much more complicated than I was prepared for. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Okay. New idea. What if we say, forget about math, and we just set up a different arrow that's always pointing towards the other guy, the partner, instead? How about we just do that? How about we just do that instead? Let's see if that works. We'll call this partner arrow. Should be like, yeah, we set that to like we're gonna have to change the location of it too, because I think it should probably rotate around this guy so that way it doesn't get stuck inside of his collision box or something. Actually, no. We can just do it here and then do a line trace out, and then or like spawn it by a certain like XY increments. That way it'll never spawn inside; it'll spawn like outside at that radius. And we can just set the rotation here to match the rotation of or to point it at him. Is that simpler? I think that's more convoluted. All right, here we go. Now people in the chat have ideas. Target vector. Oh, other vector gives you a vector pointing towards the target. Okay, I knew there was a simple way that I could not remember. I always forget vector stuff like all the time. So let's get the target vector. Let's get forward vector. I don't know if it's forward. Actually, would it be forward vector? Because it should just be like. Are there vectors are gonna? Yeah, vector. We'll just go with this for now. We'll see if this works. Let's get a reference to self. Get actor forward vector. Let's try that. And then subtract by that. And plug that into the rotation. Wait. Oh yeah, he hit himself with his own bomb. He's still chucking him way too fast. Okay, so something is clearly pretty buggy with this guy. These guys are definitely the most complicated enemy I've done thus far. And we're definitely having the issue of he is constantly trying to, like, he's throwing this and he's sort of hitting himself with it. So I should make the bombs ignore him for one, but we can just take a sort of a simpler solution for now and just test it like this. That's a whole other bag of worms. So let's see if his angle is actually changing depending on this. Like if I put him here, will he? Okay, and if I put him like here, what do I put him here? Oh, I see the issue. I see what I'm doing wrong. It shouldn't be forward vector. Well, they kind of are both facing the same direction. But that's, yeah, it's clearly not working. But I need to find something other than a forward vector, obviously, because forward vector is the forward direction, whereas their forward direction is constantly changing, so that's not quite what we need. Is there any other vectors I have access to? Last movement vector, other vector, no. Let's Let's see, get actor location, relative scale, right vector, rotation, transform. Let's try location. Hit actor location. What if we just try that? That's not gonna work, right? Like, that's definitely not gonna work. Holy shit, wait! Wait! Look! It works! It works flawlessly! Oh, it's perfect! That was way more simple than I thought it was. I was thinking of, like, how to try to make it all convoluted, but look at that! I don't know why he's going so fast, but it works! It works! Hell yeah. Oh, that's great. Perfect. Okay. Sweet. I thought I was gonna have to, like, make a vector and then track the vector, but no, it's so much easier than that. All I had to do was just, have him throw it. Now, we are having a bit of an issue where he's firing way, way too fast. Oh, it's because I don't have a can shoot branch set up here, do I? Yeah. I need to set up a can shoot branch right here, because he's constantly just sort of throwing stuff as fast as he possibly can. So we'll set up a can shoot branch right there. Let's go ahead and crunch the math down a little bit, make it a little bit sharper. Oh wait, true. All right, see if that slows him down. See how he does about angles. So the problem is that he's not launching it up and around. I think it's because he's constricted to only looking at the X and Y. He can't pivot with the Z. So I'm gonna do what I did with these guys for Gunther, and also plug in the roll on it. Yeah, roll. So that way these guys will properly look at the player and it'll update their positioning arrows. There we go. So now these guys should look at us properly, no matter what angle we're looking at them from. So we can angle it. There we go. Alright. Look at that. That works pretty well. The bombs themselves are still a little buggy, but the behavior's in place. And then if we take him out, then it's invalid. Okay. Does that break anything? No. That doesn't break anything at all. Alright. Sweet. I don't know why he does that. I think it's because I think it's probably because he's still trying to throw it to his partner who's dead for like a second. Like his throw after that, he's trying to send it to somebody who doesn't actually exist. I'm not quite sure what to do with that. Make sure they work from all angles. Yeah. I mean, that seems to be working pretty well. Let's try a bit of a further distance, to see if that works out. Because I know I did give him gravity. Oh yeah, that's the issue, is that his gravity's a little too heavy. Let's get rid of the gravity for now, just for simplicity's sake. Because I'm sure I could do some physics stuff to like get the arrow lined up properly. But it'll probably just be a lot more straightforward if we just don't have that. Probably make it feel a bit more consistent too. So for now, I'm not going to worry about that too much. Let's just see how that... Yeah. I think I might even slow the bomb down a little bit more, just to make the speed difference that it gets from getting hit a little bit more impactful. So let's set it for like 3,000. So it should be a lot slower than say a Gunther projectile. Yeah. Pretty easy to dodge, I would say. And then we can take... let's go to projectiles, get bomb 1, and set the speed. I gotta projectile movement first. Set that to something like pretty fast. So it's a lot more tricky to deal with. That's a fun gimmick. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Still figuring out Unreal, so the level editor is closer to done. Hey, good luck with that. That seems pretty complicated, but I'm glad to hear it's going well. The bomb's gonna explode? Yes. Love the new eye. Glad to hear it. Instead of making a train and a beach, make a beach and a train. What's the difference? Get rid of gravity only when his partner's alive. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, just to give him, so that way that his range is even more limited when he's alone, to give him more distinction. Okay, so bat guy is clearly working, or bomb guy is clearly working. So he throws bombs, and the bombs get chucked at you. But if his partner's gone, then he'll chuck his bombs at us. Pretty slow. They're easy to dodge, but they explode. He just needs his damage sprites in properly. Okay, perfect. So now what we need to do is code the bat guy half of this equation. So here is what we are gonna do. So we're going to set a new variable here, call it partner, and we're going to set that to a pawn object reference. Yep, there we go. Okay, gonna go ahead and expose that. So with this little eyeball, which means that we can access it from the main level editing area. Now I am wondering why he didn't. This guy should be running at us, but he isn't doing that. Got a pretty far sight radius, maybe like 7,000. Because this code here, it says that we got an AI move to. On see pawn, he's got pawn sensing. Can see, he can see us. But it doesn't seem like he wants to run at us. Yeah, you're not moving. Why don't you run? How inquisitive. How incurious. Nav mesh? Oh, wait. I don't think I put a nav mesh in. Wait, no. Yeah, no, I did put a nav mesh in, but I think they're just outside of the nav mesh. Thank you, astute commenter. Wait, let me be specific. Ipanko777? Thank you. You're very wise. I just entirely did not have them within the bounds of the nav mesh. If you're unfamiliar with Unreal, the nav mesh basically dictates, it's a big thing that exists, and anything in it, it will try to generate areas where something can walk. So it couldn't walk at me. Yeah, there we go, now he can walk. Clearly he also is going to need a walk animation that I definitely didn't entirely forget to draw, much like his damage animation. Whoops. Look at that! Now he sees me. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do here is set up another branch where we're going to grab partner. I'm going to say is valid. So basically, as long as this exists, as long as there's something for him to chase, or as long as he has a partner that is valid, then he will not chase us. Pretty straightforward. And I think that's all it really needs to do. Look, he won't chase. No, he's chasing us. Oh, because I haven't set up his partner yet. Duh. Partner. There we go. Now he won't move. He'll just stand there and deflect the bombs back at us. But if his partner goes down, then he starts running. Alright, pretty slick, pretty clean. That works pretty nicely. Just give it a little bit more stress testing, make sure everything works. Before we get on to fixing the bomb and then working on Brain Guy. I thought this was going to be really complicated, but this has gone shockingly smooth. So, this guy doesn't do anything. If you get hit by him, then he swings at you. I'm going to make that swing actually a little bit more, give it a little bit more knockback. Give him a little bit more of a threat. And his character movement, I'm going to set his walking speed to be a bit slower. Walk speed. Set it to about 1400, so he's pretty substantially slower than Slapmo is, just to give him that little bit of extra distinction. Where do I have the code for Abstractor? Should be over his sphere? Yeah, there it is. We're going to give this a -3000, and let's say 2500, so a little bit less upwards velocity. So what this will do is just launch the player back decently far. if we go inside his radius. Especially if you're jumping. Yeah. I think I'm going to give it a Z override too, just to make sure that it's properly launching us upwards. I'm going to need to make some new sound effects for these fellows too. Because each enemy's going to have a unique death and like attack sound. Make them nice and distinctive. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You can stand in the way and get hit by the bomb. I still don't know why it shoves you out of the way sometimes. That's pretty weird. I think part of it's probably that this has collision. Yeah. The bomb texture should not have collision. So let's fix that before I forget to do that. No collision, there we go. That'll at least make sure it's not pushing us and might actually hit us properly. Yeah, no, it's still pushing us. I think it's because the component hit thing doesn't seem to want to quite work, because it's supposed to be able to hit like solid objects, so that's gonna need some reworking. Probably just have to make it a usual overlap and then do on overlap instead of on component hit. I always forget to pin the Discord. Make the ball guys exploding cannonballs. Oh, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Because it's in a beach area. I was joking about this earlier, but this is, you know, I'm making new enemies, and they're going in the beach-themed area, but they're just, like, two dudes, and then some guy with, like, a brain in a jar. They have nothing to do with the theme, like, at all. And it's something about that, to me, I just find very funny. Okay, sorry, I got caught up just playing the game for a second. Okay, so let's make sure these bombs actually function. So let's go to the bomb. Let's say, just say overlap all. And I think that should probably be enough to just overlap all, because I think component hit will still work. Actually, let's try the difference between overlap all and overlap all dynamic. I've never actually figured out the distinction between those two. Let's just go with default overlap all, because I'm not sure if that applies to static meshes or not, and that's what I'm curious about. Okay. Now it's still passing through me. Do your bombs pass through me? Yeah, you're throwing them at him. Yeah, they're kind of just passing straight through my head. Yeah, probably need to make the events overlap events instead of component hit. Let's see if overlap all dynamic makes a difference though. Because I know there's a difference between dynamic and static, like objects. So I assume that's the distinction has something to do with that. But whatever. Okay, we're gonna grab grab this event here on component begin overlap instead of component hit. So whenever something overlaps, it'll run this code. I think he hit himself with the bomb. I think it spawned inside of his radius. Trying to figure out exactly why some of this is not quite working. I mean, I get why it's doing that. It's just what he's doing is that he's throwing it, and then its hitbox is large enough that it's hitting himself right as he chucks it, and then he takes damage. Let's just see if I just make it a little larger if that gets around that problem. No, he's still chucking it right inside of his own body. What if I pull the arrow way out? Just to make sure that is the... Okay, so it is the arrow. The arrow is the problem. I see the issue here, though, is that now the hitbox is hitting him. I could just do a pretty simple solution. Oh, what's here? Attempt to access BP bomb via property. No, the bomb is not valid. That's in the bat guy. Interesting. Yeah, so it's definitely going to need some fixing. That does not work as intended. Let's set the collision... Oh, let's hit overlap only pawn. Let's set it to just overlap all. And then set it to overlap all. There we go. So I think what we need to do is have this first bomb. We're going to set up some code. It says actors to ignore. Say cast to BP bat. Yeah. Let's make array. Plug that in. So that way, it will not count the bat guy as an actor who can get hit by the bomb. Yep. And if it hits us, well, that's not the right bomb. But if we stand in the way of it, will it hit us? No, it will not. Oh, okay, what's the issue here now? So it's whenever the bat guy deflects a bomb, now that's being considered an issue. It shouldn't be an issue because it's only whenever it overlaps something. How strange. How unusual. Probably something that I'm doing wrong in the fundamental setup of the bomb, I think. Hey there, Puffy. Steve Strike seems like the type of guy to make his car as loud as possible. Yeah, maybe. I could say that. A Joker being like, I wish I knew what that was referring to, because I've done my fair share of both, of things that are a joke, but I might say are a joke, but are definitely just trying to find an easier solution. Okay, so we've got overlap all. We do the custom. Consider this to be a pawn, perhaps, or have pawn object type. They shouldn't be world static. That's for sure. It'll overlap pawn. Yeah. Sounds about right. I just need to make it hit me. He just can't. It's not hitting me. Okay, get rid of that guy for now. Whoop. Nope. Get rid of that guy. Oh, yeah. There we go. Dismiss. So the issue is that his bombs are just not hitting me. So let's see what I did with the Gunther code to try to remember exactly what I did with that made that work instead. That was custom query only bullets. So it overlaps these, ignores everything, and overlaps pawn. So let's just set that up, that same sort of situation up for now. And that was bullets. Yeah, set the bullets. And then does it block bullets? No, it ignores bullets. I keep setting myself down here. There we go. Okay, so a simple fix. That didn't fix it. Interesting. Let's go back to the bomb and see what the... Oh, I wonder if maybe because it's only hitting the bomb, perhaps? Oh, I didn't know what I'm doing wrong here. I should be getting my object reference from other actor there. What are you objecting to? Here it is. Yeah. So, something I was doing wrong there, I'm pretty sure this will fix it, is that I was just getting a general reference to the player character, which meant that they would be getting hurt even if they weren't exactly in range. But here, this bit'll only happen, like, it can only do this cast if it's overlapped by the bomb's collision sphere. So I think that'll make that work. Oh, now he hit himself. Idiot. Alright, let's pull the arrow way back out. Just for now. We can set it up so that he ignores himself. Yeah, look at that. There we go. Alright. That wasn't so bad now, was it? Cool. And then what we can do is sort of do the same thing here. Well, this case it works, because it's already doing enough of that. So now what we need to do is... it's going to be the simplest way to do this. Probably a pure cast. Put you down so we have a little more space to work with. First thing we're going to do is cast to BP ball, and cast to BP Bat. And I'll explain this code as I'm doing it, but what this will do is it'll ensure that these guys will not be able to hit themselves with their own orb. That pin. So what we're doing here is plug in... oh, if I just make array. No, it's not letting me make different arrays. Array. Because I need to... What if I just promote this to a variable, actually? Not promote that to a variable. That? No? How did I do this elsewhere? Because I did this for the weapon code, where it had, like, a series of things that it could ignore. Like this sort of make array. Because I just need these to be part of an array that gets ignored. Yeah, because it's only letting me do that. It's not letting me, like, add things to the array. Like, add. Like, add this in? Something like that, maybe? I don't know if this'll work or not. I haven't really screwed around with arrays too much. Okay, it seems like it doesn't mind that. Okay, cool. Let's pull this in a little bit closer just to see... Like, let's put it in really close just to see if it actually does work. If it doesn't hit him. No, it still hits him. But it doesn't... It still ignores him, though, which is good. It works. But if the arrow's too close, then it'll still spawn the bomb inside of him, and then it'll, like, immediately detonate it. Okay, I mean, that looks fine. I think it works, too, so... Don't really need to worry about that too much. What we do need to worry about, though, is if it works properly with the bat guy, because if it hits the bat guy, then we have problems. So let's set them up to be partners real quick, so that way they are actually working together. Oh. Did he... Oh no, now the collision's not working. Ooh, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate indeed. So, on component begin overlap, the collider here. If it's the bomb, it'll cast BP bomb and then destroy that actor. So what's happening there is that it's not seeing that the bomb is in there, and I'm assuming that's something to do with the collision changes that I've made. Let's set up a print string, just to make sure that it is indeed colliding with it, like it's detecting something. But I'm just assuming it's not detecting the bomb. We should see a hello. No, it's not doing a hello. Okay, so the problem is the bomb is not getting detected at all. Oh, because it's set to ignore. That's the issue. Okay. So what it's doing is that it's ignoring everything, but that includes the collision, which, that, you know, when I say that out loud, that makes sense. But if I get rid of this, then I assume that it works? No, it doesn't work still. I'm scratching my chin inquisitively. So the bomb is just not, like, triggering as something that's getting overlap. What if I overlap it? Does it say hello when I overlap it? Yeah, it does say hello when I go in. But when you'll see that it doesn't say hello when that goes in. So what's happening is that there's something wrong with the bomb itself, where the type of collision is ignoring that collider. So, let's see, what could it be? Which type of collision is the issue here? Set it to maybe a pawn object type? No, that didn't do it. What if it blocks, or what if it overlaps world static and world dynamic? Those are just, like, different types of meshes, like things that dictate what the world is made of. Okay, so that did work. The problem is, though, that it does actually hit him, which we do not want to happen. Let's see if this method works, actually. I want to see if he'll ignore it entirely, if that doesn't work. Get another actor cast. Alright, see if that works now. It does. Okay, so he does ignore it in the fact that it doesn't hurt him. Okay, cool. Wait, it didn't do anything there. He tried to deflect it and it didn't work. Definitely still some jank I'm gonna have to sort through, that's for sure. But yeah, these two are functional pretty much. Still need to do some cleanup. Oh no, never mind. I spoke too soon. Bomb is not valid, pending killer garbage. Destroy actor. So the destroy thing is not, it doesn't like that. I think what's happening is that the bomb is exploding first, and then it's yeah, I think that's what's happening, is that it's exploding first, and then it's hitting him. What if I expand the box just a little bit? Like, maybe that'll give him more leniency so that way it doesn't explode. No, I think it's still exploding. Yeah, it's still exploding. So it's still hitting something solid, and then it's running the detonation sequence, and then it's destroying itself. Why does the bomb look so stretched out? I was trying to give it a little squash and stretch. You know, especially when it's spinning, it kind of gives it like a little bit of movement. I don't know if it really sells, but it makes it more clear that it is spinning, and I kind of like the effect that it brings. Okay, so yeah, the issue here is that when it's trying to destroy the actor, it's like running this code to try to destroy something that no longer exists. And this is going to be a problem, because he'll throw it at the guy, it'll blow up the bomb, it'll do the bomb blowing up animation, and we don't really want that. So what we want it to do is to not explode when it hits that guy's sphere. And just to test that that is indeed the cause, let's make his radius, like, massive. Because I'm assuming it'll still blow up, and it'll still give us an error message. Yeah, even when it's, like, huge, we still got that problem. Yeah, so let's shrink your radius back down a bit. So the collision is working. Like, it is detecting a collision, but how do we get it? How do we get it so that way it detects that there's been that collision, but doesn't explode if it hits that guy? So here's a potential solution. We could try a branch right in front of the for each loop, where if the hit actor is... We could even do it after, really, where it's if the hit actor is the ball man, then it'll just destroy it, and then we don't need to run this code. That's what I'm thinking we're probably going to want to do. Let a sequence node. And we'll redirect everything down a little bit. Because here's what I'm thinking we can do. We can cast to BP... that. We can plug in hit actor right there. And we can just say destroy actor. So if this happens, then it'll destroy the actor. And then if we go to BP bat, then we can get rid of this bit of code. So let's just unplug that for now. And see if that solves our little issue. Does it still explode? Damn, it still explodes. But it doesn't give us the error. Okay. Cool. So that works now. And this one still works. Yeah. So what we're gonna need to do... Wait, now... I realize that now, though, it doesn't hurt me. Maybe it's because I'm trying to get that? What if I get it from other actor instead? Instead of hit actor? Where'd that bomb come from? He keeps spawning a bomb instantly for some reason? It's weird. Does this bomb hurt me? No, it doesn't. Let's see, it's running the sphere tray, so it's running the code that will launch me, but it's not running the code that'll make me take damage. which is the issue we're having. So I assume it would be something to do with this bit of code. That's where the issue stems from. Because I think if I get rid of that, then it'll be able to hit me normally again. No, it just can't hit me. Okay. Weird. I must have seriously broken this collision. What do I plug in a hit actor? Does it like that more? Okay, sure, it likes that more. Whatever. Alright. Sure. If it works, it works. So now what it should do is... Yeah. Yay, look at that. Perfect. If I get rid of you, then you start running. Cool. Alright, still is a little janky, but we can, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. It's getting better. This is too bright of a green. I think I need to make this a more mellow green. That's kind of hurts my eyes. I don't think I've... I mean, let me actually take a second to showcase the layout of this level a little bit. So you start out on the surfboard, you bounce across the ocean, land on here, you're gonna have a nice little billboard. Probably have a Gunther right there shooting at you. Fight your way through a couple of train cars, dealing with some bad guys. Then you make your way up through the first floor of the sand castle. Get on the train here, you bounce across the ocean. Then, I'm not sure if I'm going to actually introduce these guys here. I might save them for the second level. But, you know, they're there. Right now, anyways. And then we have another bounce across the ocean. Get to this, like, little building here. You go through another train cars. You can go up to the roof here to fight a little bit more. Drop back down to that train car. And then one last surfboard, which will bounce us underneath the boardwalk onto this little building. And the end portal is going to be right here on this this platform. So I think it's really fun, like, interconnected stage. I should stop coding and fall asleep. Yeah, that's a good idea. It would also be less glitchy if you change the velocity or the vector, whatever, the bomb towards the player when Batman hits the bomb rather than deleting it and respawning the bomb. I mean, I could try that for sure, but the thing about this is that I see this being more consistent, you know? Like, this I feel is a more predictable behavior. Like, look at that. Boom, boom. It's nice, it's consistent, seamless, and I'd rather figure out how to get this working rather than just changing the velocity. Because that'll just, I think, feel a lot better to play against when you can more accurately predict and more easily predict the specifics of its behavior. Yeah, okay. Real quick, we're gonna code up the other bomb to work properly. I kind of like the idea that you could get the bomb guy to chuck the bomb at you, and then Bat Guy could hit it back at his own buddy. So I think I want to set it up so that that can happen. So what we're going to do is just pretty simple. I'm going to copy all this code over. Just get the updated code instead. Sure we can keep all this. Then grab that. Oh. Does it actually just work as is? Oh, what's the issue? Oh. Purecast. There we go. Okay, cool. Now the second bomb should also work. So we'll chuck it. Yeah, okay. Cool. Everything works as intended. Great. Does this block bullets, I wonder? No, it does not. That's good. But no, it does. It does. Okay. We'll fix it later. Right now, though, we got that working. I'm going to go ahead and close out of these fellas for now, because we've got functional. And what we're going to do now is work on the Brain Man. Since we got these two all good. So I think for this guy, we're going to start by copying Steve. So we're going to call him BP Brain Buster. Save. There we go. Okay, so this guy, I explained it a little bit earlier on, but what he's going to do is... Brain... Idle. There we go. So you got this guy, it's at 90. I kind of want to be a little shorter too, so let's shrink him down. Nope, shrink him down. Maybe like a little larger. Then down like that. Yeah, there we go. So what this guy's gonna do, he puts his hands on his like little brain helmet, and then he'll think really hard. You'll get like a little warning message that pops up on your screen that says "Warning, warning, brain explosion imminent." And then after, let's say, 5, 6, 7 seconds, I don't know how long his cooldown's gonna be, probably decently long, because like I've mentioned, he might just be able to instantly kill you. Still on the fence about that. But once that timer runs out, he'll explode your brain and you die. Or take damage. One of the two. So we're gonna go ahead and start by setting a variable. I'm gonna call it brain timer. We're gonna make that an integer. Set that to probably about 100. Yeah, about 100 or so sounds okay. Most of his code we can keep the same as per usual, but what we're going to want to do is set it so that way he has brain. Gotta make an attack or a damaged animation for him as well. Set a brain idle. Sorry, we don't need it. We don't need this stuff. This is all a lot more convoluted than we need, since Steve Strike has got a slightly more complicated death sequence. I say convoluted, but it's like 4 lines of code. You can just use the flipbook Brain Dead. And grab brain attack. Now this code is going to need to be pretty different from everything else. When he sees us, what he's going to do is put his hands on his head and start his attack sequence, but the rest of this is going to need to be pretty custom. So right now, you can see he doesn't really do anything, but when we land... Uh-oh. You're not supposed to be able to do that, sir. I thought I get... Oh, no, I did not get rid of that. I'm just a fool. Okay, so yeah, we need to get is falling. If he's dead, if he can shoot, all this needs to be true. Actually, we're not going to need a can shoot, because all that matters is that if you're in his line of sight, he'll try to kill you. So if all this is correct, then he will begin his attack sequence. Yeah. Let's spawn like above the ground to make sure that he can't see us, and then once we are within his attack radius, then he can start fighting us. Oh, you can see his death there is a little bit janky. I'll have to sort that out. I think I have a delay set up weird for the death animation. Yeah, I think I'd set that up weird. For that, it's it's delayed by way too long. Brain dead. Oh, that's sound effects stuff. What we're gonna do is grab the flipbook. We're going to get that flipbook. We're going to get flipbook length, and then set that to be the length of the delay. So what that means is that it'll play the entirety of the animation, of his death animation, and then destroy the actor. Oh, there's a lot of comments now. I think his design needs to be simpler. I don't know if I really agree. It's kind of convoluted from a distance, sure. But I think it's I don't know. I think you can still see the blue and you can see the whatnot. Certainly a little convoluted. I'll give you that. But I think all that really matters is that you can get the shape. I think the shape is pretty distinctive with the sort of like that sort of structure. Plus, it'll be pretty obvious to tell that he's targeting you. That does kind of raise an interesting question though, where a lot of enemies, like even like Bouncer, you kind of lose, or Gunther, like you lose a lot of the detail of Gunther, even from just like a distance. That's why the colors are so important. Like Gunther is super simple, but even then, like you can't really make out most of his features until you're really close. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. Like they still read, but I might like make some of the enemies like outlines and like lines with their detail a little thicker, just that it's more clear. But I get where you're coming from with that. Anyways, Brain Man. So what we're gonna do is a little bit convoluted. First, actually, we're going to need to do, I'm going to put this in projectiles for the sake of simplicity. We're going to make a new widget blueprint. We're going to call this UI brain warning. And we can put some like extra animation and thought into this a little bit later. Right now, it just sort of needs to exist to prove to us that this is functional. So we're gonna let's grab text. And we can just anchor this right in the middle of the screen. And it'll say warning. So fill in the content so it says warning brain die soon. Alright, yeah, I spelled that correctly. And let's make it like 100-point font, sure. Yeah, that's definitely spelled correctly. Let's make it Kimberly, because that's my favorite font. There we go. Okay, so, is there a way to, I'm wondering, like, for pawn sensing, if there's something else I can work with as, like, an easy way. I guess we could run an event tick, where he'll check constantly to see if he can see the player, and if he can, then it'll run this, and if he can't, then otherwise, that sort of thing. So jumping already reset his attack. Oh, that is a good point. No, he should absolutely be able to attack you while you're airborne. That's just that's code that's good for Steve, but not good for Brainbuster. Good thinking. What if the water was brighter? I mean, I could see making the water more. I do want to make this like more oceany, like give it a more like white sea texture. But I like the blue of it. I just think having something more clear, like white highlights, like the ocean, would look nice. I like the color though. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We can set in range. It's a new variable. We'll make that a Boolean, and we can set that to true or false. So if he's dead, or if any of this is, if you go through all this and it's false, then it'll set in range to false. But if it all works out, then it'll set it to true. Okay, we're gonna run a custom event here called countdown, and we'll do another custom event. Custom event reset countdown. Yeah. And we're gonna, just to test that this is working properly, we'll just say, funny, right there, and we'll have a big reset. Okay. Cool. So what we want to do, I guess I'm not sure if we're actually gonna need these. Let's run, countdown. And reset. Oh, that's just the event reset, not reset countdown. There we go. Okay, so it says funny. He can see me, he can see me. So the problem is that it's not saying reset, which is an issue. Still say funny? No, it's not saying he can't see me for some reason when I'm in the air. I know it's an issue with some enemies where like they can't run at you until you've like landed, which I mean that kind of is nice for those enemies because it makes them a little less annoying to fight. But for this guy, it's important that if he can see you upon any circumstances, then he can be attacking you. Oh, because I just realized what's happening. It'll only reset if he dies, which we do want to have that happen. But what we need is sort of like something to check when he stops seeing the player. Oh, it's because it's if the character is falling. If I am falling, then he can't attack me. Yeah, I don't want that. I do not want that. Dumb, stupid, moron. Okay. So what we should do here is, this will probably be a separate part of the equation. But yeah, if the cast failed, then it'll do that. It'll reset. So what that should do in principle is that we'll get the big reset message whenever his cast fails. If I'm like behind this tree. No. Okay, so the cast isn't failing because it's not failing because it can't see anything. That's why it's not failing. Yeah, I see what the issue is. Yeah, okay. I think what's gonna be the most efficient way to do this that doesn't like, because I could do this where it just checks like every frame, but I don't really want to add any extra rent where I don't need to. I say rent, but use. Does your brain start to explode when you're in his view, or he's in your view? It's when you're in his view. So if he can see you, you're in danger. If you look away from him, you're still in danger. Because otherwise you could counter him just by doing that. Which I don't think would be super interesting, frankly. Okay, so what's going to be the most straightforward way that I could get this to work? So if he sees me, then it runs the countdown event. But if he can't, then he shouldn't be able to. So how do I check? How do you check for something that isn't happening? That's kind of the question I have. Because cast failed only works if I'm not in his range. So on C pawn, yeah. And then Maybe there's something else I can do with this. Because what I need to do is find a way to call the reset. By the way, just grooving for a second. You guys should play Dicey Dungeons. Listen to the soundtrack. It is good. Man. I mean, the game's pretty fun, but the music is fantastic. Okay, what was I doing? So, what I want to do, just maybe make it even a little bit more obvious, is create widget. I'm going to create a UI brain warning. Add to viewport. Let's get our first person player reference. Oh, maybe get player pawn. Nope. Get player controller. Yeah, okay. I can never tell when you need the pawn and when you need the controller. Kind of feels like it feels a little arbitrary, but I'm sure it isn't. Okay. Yeah, warning, brain die Sassoon. And then when I get out of his line of sight, then it should get rid of that. But the problem is we're not getting the reset. So how do I get the reset? It should be Brian, because Brian is brain, but with one letter swapped. Well, this guy's actually a reference name-wise to a boss from actually let me. I know I was just talking about how much I like the Dicey Dungeon soundtrack, but this guy is a reference to a character from Travis Strikes Again, Number Heroes, called Brian Buster Jr. And that was an intentional name reference. So I feel like I can't call him Brian Buster, but I'll put the boss theme on in the background. Yeah. Okay. So we got that. How do we check? I do gotta ask what's up with the weird like Half-Life 2 beta bit. You just keep like asking about like making it like a Half-Life beta. You just like a big. I mean, I like Half-Life. Half-Life's cool, but it's kind of an odd bit. So if there's a simple way to, like, check if this is a true or false, like, if it sees the player, like... I could try... Because what's... If it doesn't run this code if it doesn't see me. So if there's, like, a way... Because it's sort of easier to tell something is happening than to tell something isn't happening. That's kind of the conundrum we're having right now. I could, like, run a timer or something to check if you're still in range, perhaps. Like if you're in range, or I can run a piece of code that, like, every so often, like, maybe if I run that on a timer, like, every 1 second or something, if every, like, half second, probably, maybe even a little faster than that. So that way it feels a little more responsive. But it'll constantly be checking to see if in range is true, and if it isn't, then it'll run reset countdown. That could work. I know I just don't want to cause either infinite loops or accidentally use event tick, because event tick can be a bit problematic. For now, we'll just use it just for the sake of simplicity. But I should be trying to get away from it, just so we're more, a little more resource friendly. Even though this isn't really that bad, resource-wise. I mean, we're kind of already calling it, so I don't know if this is really much worse. But for now, we'll get something that works, and then figure out how to optimize a little bit later. Okay, so let's check from false. And we'll say reset. So if in range is false at any point, then it'll call... Oh, that's the wrong event again. Reset countdown. So it says funny, 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 funny. Oh yeah, because it doesn't... Yeah, right. That still doesn't fix the problem of we don't have a way to set in range to false. Yeah, that is a bit of a problem, innit? I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna apologize for that one. Funny, funny, funny. Reset. Okay. Real quick, we're gonna go forum scavenging. Unreal, how to check if something has left pawn sensing. Yeah, how to tell when a pawn is no longer sensed. Turns out all you need to do is set a bool from your on-pawn C event right into a sequence. Okay, so this guy's got an example. Oh, I'm so stupid. That's such a clever solution. Okay, this is why you gotta scavenge sometimes. But that's such a smart solution. It's so simple too, it's so elegant. Okay. So what we need to do is run a sequence, and this is going to be run no matter what, where if this is true, if it does see the player, then it'll set me to in range, and if it doesn't, it'll run a retriggerable delay of, say, about 0.2 for now. That works. And we can run reset countdown. So basically what this means is that this is a delay of 0.2 seconds, and whenever you call it, it'll reset the delay to that. So essentially what this means is that what it should do is that whenever this delay runs out, it'll reset the countdown, but it'll continuously refresh the countdown as long as we're within the sight radius of the enemy. So that feels like a pretty darn elegant solution to our issue. Now, I'm talking all that. Let's see if it works. No, it's saying funny reset, funny reset, funny reset, funny reset, funny reset. Okay, so clearly that's not actually working. Shoot. But I think we're onto the right track here. We just need to get it so that it's not constantly resetting itself. Because it should only be resetting when you leave. See. Oh, they've got some more code that they didn't show off. Whoops. I just kind of assumed that would work. Let's see. So this should theoretically be working. Let me see what the pawn sensing interval. Oh, there you have it set to half a second. Instead it's at 0.2. Make it a bit more responsive. Funny. Oh, that was the issue. It was just the updates it was getting when it was trying to see me was a little too sluggish. Now, speaking of being responsive, some enemies take a little bit too long to like see you and actually react. So I'm going to lower the intervals of Slatmo a little bit, make him feel a little more responsive. I think for Bouncer it's better if he's got a little bit of a delay. And for Bat and Ball, I'm going to... actually, I don't think Ball needs it, but Bat definitely needs a faster sensing interval, so that way he can more promptly attack you whenever you're not... whenever his partner goes down. I'm going to be decently fast, so it's still unfair if he gets behind something and still die. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So now it seems like we are in business. But let's set this to like 0.2 and then set this to like 0.1 or something. It's okay if this is a little bit more expensive. Yeah, funny. Okay, cool. Now this actually works pretty well, because what this means is that we can get a smooth, consistent way to decrement the timer before he blows you up and you die. So we'll keep the funny and reset for now, just for the sake of convenience. But what we're gonna do here is let's promote to variable. Set the name of you to warning UI. Then we're going to grab warning UI and remove from parent. Now, this could potentially cause issues, but this should work. So if we get out of sight... Man, why is the hitbox for this tree so big? And it resets. No, it didn't work. Okay, there's an issue. Access none, trying to read property, warning UI. Yeah, okay, so that's... The problem is that it's not... Oh, because I didn't... I'm stupid. Okay, well it didn't break, but it still didn't remove the UI properly. Oh, because I didn't set the variable. There we go. Okay, now it should be properly functional. I'm gonna be right one of these times, you know. Eventually, I'm gonna be correct. Okay, what if I do it like this? No. That doesn't work either. So it's calling reset, it's just not removing from parent. If I try remove from... No, it's just remove from parent. It's just not... It's not going away. I mean, I could just be kind of lazy and like set it to be visible or invisible. Actually, that might be better. Because that way it won't be constantly like creating and deleting a new asset. It'll just create it once and then make it visible or invisible depending on what your needs are. So that might actually be a better solution. So let's set visibility to hidden. You know, we can even just do... Let's do this up here. Yeah, event begin play. Shove you over so you have a little more room. And whenever you start, then it'll create this stuff and add it to your screen whenever you're in a level where he exists. So what we can do is go ahead and set the visibility to hidden. So now it should not show up. Oh, because it's still creating it here. Yeah. Okay, so now what it should do is it shouldn't show up. and then if we set it here, then all it'll do is toggle it to be visible or invisible, and what'll make this solution work is that it'll never use this element unless we need it, because he's already in a level. Yay, look at that, look at that. Okay, perfect, that works pretty well. It is kind of annoying that it's under the crosshair, though. I think I'll, I wanna make it so that it's above everything. Actually, it's probably better if it just isn't in contest with the crosshair at all. Yeah, we'll just move it so that it's not in the way of other UI elements. I feel smarter. That is a weird bit going on in the comments. Reminds me of Void Collector. This reminds me of Unreal Engine. Alright. Morning, brain dice, and... Okay, so to make this guy work, he's gonna need to have pretty ridiculous sight. Let's give him like 20,000 sight. He can see you from far away. Oh, wait, is that lagging things? No, I think that was just a weird... Okay, I thought there was lag for a second, but I'm not sure if that is true. Set a sight radius to 1 to see if maybe that was actually causing potential issues. No, that wasn't his sight radius. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. I've noticed that sometimes Unreal games will like launch and run slower depending on like where you launch them from. Like if they're from like a very complicated piece of code and you're trying to run it from there, then that can cause issues. Okay, why can't you see me? I should be in your sight radius. Why is it resetting? What? What are you doing? What's your deal here, buddy? Why are you resetting all the ding dang time? Yeah, whatever. We'll get the base functionality working for now, and we'll we can bug fix as need be. Visibility change. There we go. Yeah, no, I know what I'm doing. Custom event. Plug this in. So basically, this will run a piece of code whenever. Oh. Custom event. Yeah. Okay. There we go. I just had to hook it up right. We'll just call this visibility change. So we can just play like a little animation whenever the visibility gets changed. Something to make it a little bit smoother. So here's a pretty simple animation. We can just call this go in. So we can animate this very, very simply. We're gonna make a keyframe for translation. Go about 25 seconds. And let's just adjust that upwards. And set a keyframe there. So that way the animation. We can play that in reverse. That way it goes the other way. Go. And we can play animation. Go in. Play that in reverse. And then... Yeah. No, it's not working. It is not playing that on change. Hey, whatever. I'm thinking too much about trying to make it look nice, when what we really should be doing is making this functional first and foremost. So, countdown. We can go ahead and get rid of these. Clearly they work. Funny and reset are functional. Actually, you know what? We'll keep them there for good long-term testing. That might be good to have later, because clearly it seemed like his sight radius behavior was like a little bit janky. So to make sure that we're staying consistent, let's take a look at that. So let's get the brain timer. Default, that's gonna be set to 100. And when we reset the countdown, we can go ahead and set the brain timer to, let's just say 100. So for here, what we can do is set brain timer to brain timer minus, say, 5. Might be a little slow, but we'll work with it for now. And we can print string with the value of the brain timer. And I'm gonna make that an actual HUD element. Like on here, there'll be like a little meter underneath that'll show the slowly ticking down of the brain meter before you die. But we'll do that a little bit later. And we'll run a branch here where if brain timer is less than or equal to 0, then we can get the first person character reference and die. Just kill him. Okay, so it is a little janky because it just plays the death sound over and over. Let's die, and then what's going to be a good way to prevent this from continuing to happen over and over? Oh, there's a lot of people talking. Let me see what people are saying. Probably shouldn't be such a big warning, maybe half the size. Oh, for sure. Like this is just for like testing purposes, don't worry. Randomness? Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want randomness for sure. Okay. Back to it. Back to code. Let's run a node here. Can I just do it once? I always set up like a complicated bool input. What if I just do it once? Nothing resets it, so it'll just do it once. We'll play it once? Yeah, okay, that works. Cool. Man, I've been doing this way more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, so clearly his increment is way too high. Set that to 3, maybe? Okay, that works pretty decently. Okay, cool. Let's actually make another canvas panel real quick. We can make it just the size of the whole screen. And we're gonna call this the container, and that'll make animating a lot easier for us. We can go and get rid of this because I'm gonna have to rework a lot of that. I realized, so we can just get rid of that. But this will make animation a lot easier for us down in the future when we put everything inside of this container. Okay. Let's briefly shrink it down a little bit for sake of visibility. Put you like right here or something. Yeah. Morning brain die session. Next we're gonna grab a progress bar. Go. Sure that's in the container. Yep. Then we're gonna drag it along. Anchor you to the middle of the screen. And then what we're going to do is pretty simple. We're going to set the draw as a box. Yep. Let's set it to about 50% so we can get an example as to what it looks like right now. Fill color is going to be the same red here. And I think the background should probably be black just because that'll look quite a bit nicer. There we go. Actually, let's grab an image first. Because I know I want to have a little background for this guy. So we'll make sure that this part's lined up first, and then we can retroactively make the progress bar fit. We'll call this bar BG, and we can call this progress bar. Yeah. Yep, okay, looks about right. Just make this black, like the other menus and bars and stuff. Shrink you in a little bit. This end, a little bit at this end. Yeah, okay. Now what we need to do is create a binding. So, it should be for percent fill. Where is that? Oh, not on the bar. There we go. I'm going to create a new binding here, and this is the code that's going to determine how full the bar is. So, what we need to do is pretty straightforward. I can show an example as to what I've done here with the juice code. Yeah, look, I've even got it referenced. So all we have to do is take the current juice divided by the max juice and plug it in. So similar, what we need to do is divide the current value of the timer by the max value of the timer, i.e. 100, and then plug that into the return value. So, for instance, what we can do is grab a divide node, plug that in, type 100 down here, and then all we need to do is get a reference to the number that we're trying to get. Now that is a little bit tricky now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm trying to figure out how we're going to relay this number along from Brainbuster to this UI element. And that is a little bit complicated, because there's not usually a super clean way to just like easily cast. This would especially be a problem if there were multiple. I don't think it would be a problem because there's never going to be a situation where you're going to be under fire by two of these guys at the same time, but I should probably make it so that that is at least functional. So I can't just do a generalized cast. It needs to be a little bit more specific. So how do we pass along this value to the UI? That is the question. That is indeed the question. I'm gonna check a form real quick to see if there's like a quick, easy answer. Unreal, get variable from actor to UI. So like an easy way to do that. Widget display, variable from actor. There we go. Need to either have a reference to the actor in the widget or have a reference to the widget in the actor. Okay, so I've got a reference to the widget in the actor. Now I do widget component in the actor and set the widget to the nameplate widget you have made. Setting up owning actor variable for the name tag. Okay, so that's what people are doing. Okay, little bit convoluted. But I've got a reference to the UI. So if there's a way I can set that, then that would be pretty convenient. Wait, what am I doing? I'm dumb. I'm way overthinking this. What I can do is just set the current value of brain timer. Make that an integer. By default, we'll have it set to 100 on start, because that's what it should be when you start out. And then what we'll do is set brain timer. We'll set the value of this brain timer to the value of this brain timer. There we go. Okay, I was way overthinking that. This is a lot simpler than I was thinking it would need to be. So all we got to do is plug in brain timer here, divide that by 100, and return that as the percentage. Is it a valid number for an integer property? No. Oh, it wanted me to do a conversion, I think. Yeah, it just wanted a conversion. Okay, a little janky. The meter's not working. Okay, well, that's clearly not, functioning. Oh, so first I forgot to anchor this in the middle. So now it should be lined up. Yeah, now it's lined up properly. But the problem is that the meter is not properly aligned. Not aligned. The meter is not linked. So my best guess is that this number is not updating when it should. So let's go to the Brainbuster, and let's just print the value of this brain timer. See what that gives us to see if it is or is not functional, because it should be ticking down otherwise. We'll get rid of this print string for now, just to clean up our little bit of information. Oh, because it only does it once. Because I'm stupid. That's why. Because I'm plugging this in after it's supposed to have stopped. Or after it's supposed to have killed the player. Duh. Yeah. Just had it plugged in wrong. Okay, that should probably fix it now, I imagine. Now it's empty. So clearly the number's updating correctly. But for some reason it's not doing what I want it to. Should just be this divided by 100, yeah? And they did some very basic math wrong. Now it's gonna be the number that you want, or like the current number divided by the maximum. You plug that in. That should do it. What if I make him floats? What if I make him floats? Maybe just once floats. What if I just make it a float? It'd be really dumb if that fixed it. But I wouldn't be mad about it, I guess. Divide by 100, so the max value should be 100. And then it'll display that as the fill percentage. Just make sure I've got it set up correctly. Yeah, it sets it to that. Okay, well it doesn't like doing that. Let's set the brain timer to a float too, just because that'll make these sort of issues go away. It won't have any issues getting them to compile together correctly anymore. Yeah. Okay. We good now? We good? Yay! Look at that. You can see the sort of choppy intervals that it goes in. I kind of like the effect it has. So it's like dun 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 dun. It's kind of more intimidating than if it just like drained at a consistent rate. Okay, I need to fix the hitbox of this real quick. This is getting on my nerves. Oh, it's because I'm stupid and I just gave it a giant hitbox. Yeah, what I should do is give it like one normal hitbox, like that's to the size of the trunk, and then just do like another smaller box on the other side. Or one that's like set up here. That'd be a much better solution. Okay, so one issue, excuse me, is that I need to run a branch here. Make sure that he's not dead. That he is dead. Or isn't dead. Yes, isn't dead. So if dead is false, I didn't want to upload that one. There we go. So now what should happen is that if he's dead, the counter stops. And if he dies, then I'll run reset countdown. And then we're also going to grab the visibility of this cube and set visibility to false. Or I forget to do that too. As you can see, he had like a little thing that shows up when he dies. There we go. And I think I also want to make sure that he cannot, that it resets the timer if he goes airborne, because that gives you another like powerful method of counterplay. So let's get the, I think it's character movement component, air, in air. I'm trying to remember what the exact like code for it is. I can just check one of my other enemies. Because even with visual code, I oftentimes forget exactly what the character movement is following. That's what it is. I forget the exact like wording of things. There we go. So now we can hook this into another branch, and that way he won't be able to attack us if he is falling or dead. So if you hit him with the shotgun, then it'll reset the timer. Or it won't actively... Actually, I kind of like that idea, that he won't be able to tick the timer down if he's currently being damaged or in freefall, but it won't reset the timer unless you escape his line of sight. I like that idea. And then does it actually... I didn't even check. Does it get rid of the UI when he dies? It does. Okay, that's pretty darn functional, I would say. Definitely not the prettiest looking thing visually. I'm gonna work on that UI, obviously, so it's not quite so rough looking. But yeah, I will do that. Alright. Oh, there's a lot of... So, I didn't check chat for a while. It was very busy. See, eraser paste. Okay. So, what was I gonna say? His brain animation doesn't seem to be running? Oh, no, it's not. It definitely is not. His animations are not coded in yet. You know, I can just do that right now. That'll be pretty quick and easy. I can just print string. I didn't print string. Yeah, I've already got it here. I just didn't plug it in. There we go. Now he's in attack mode. I think there still might need to be like another indicator of some sort to make it more clear that he's attacking you, like maybe like a sound cue or some sort of like particle that sort of spawns around him that lets you know that you're in danger. It definitely is a little bit unclear right now, so I'm gonna work on that to make it a little bit more visually apparent. But it is functional, and that's the first step. So I think I'm about ready to wrap stream up today. Feeling pretty good about that. Good progress made. I think I'm gonna make that timer a little longer too, because that seems kind of strict, very strict even. But we can work on the minutia, the fine details, and the polish a little bit later. So real quick, let's do a bit of a recap today as to what we got done. So we got Brain Buster, who when you're in his line of sight, he will start ticking this timer down. When it hits 0, you die, but you can kill him to reset the timer and make sure that you don't explode and die. And then we've got Ball and Bat, who function differently when they're working together versus when they're working together. If they're working together, then he'll throw the ball to the bat guy, who will then deflect it back towards you. Oh, I went through the tree. But if you take one of them, if you take either of them out, their behaviors change. So you take him out, and then all of a sudden he starts throwing bombs at you instead. Still needs a damage animation. But if you take out Bomb Guy first, then he starts chasing you down with an animation that he definitely has that I definitely didn't forget to draw last night. Okay, I like the spot this is in. I'm feeling pretty good about these guys. I think they're pretty fun to fight. They're gonna shake up the gameplay quite a bit. He keeps spamming beam. Yeah, I mean, I could see a beam. You don't gotta type it 40 times. I'll see ya. Alright, that'll do it though. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. This was a nice and lively one. Pretty good progress, and I will see you guys on Friday. Probably gonna be the last like normal devlog for a while because I'm going back to school pretty soon. So if you see me streaming, it's probably gonna be later in the evening from now on. Next week I'm gonna be still at home, but next week after that I'm gonna be at school. So, anyways, no more waffling, no more talking.